let's say you have bad personal credit, right? Let's say your FICO score is very low, but you have a fair business credit. In other words, your business is doing fine financially. You're probably around. Let's say you have a payday score of 80 or 85. So how do you get a business line of credit in that situation? Let's talk about that. And here are the trends. The thing is, if you are looking for a business line of credit for a bad personal credit but fair business credit, you got to constantly ask yourself, what lender do you have to talk to? Number one. Number two, how long have you been in business? And number three, how strong is the company? In other words, you want to really focus on the company's credit worthiness. And you want the lender to really forget about your personal credit, right? But you got to really ask yourself, why would the lender actually forget your personal credit? I mean, what kind of incentive are you giving the lender when it comes to your application and telling them, hey, listen, please look at my business. Don't look at my personal history, because there is some kind of contradiction if personally you're doing bad, but business-wise you're doing good. Because normally, if you're disciplined when it comes to finances, they should really be reflected in your personal life too. But hey, long story short, the thing is that when you think about getting a business line of credit in that situation, you got to really ask yourself about timing, about your company's solidity, how solid your company is when it comes to getting the loan or line of credit that you are looking for, and most importantly, how bad is your personal FICO score, because you have a bad credit and you have a poor credit. I mean, bad credit is a credit that's really a credit score that's around 550, 525, and then you have poor credit, which is really below 500. So how bad is your credit score? Because depending on how bad your credit score is, lenders might be willing to do business with you or not at all. Okay. So if you have, let's say, if you happen to have a bad credit, but fair business credit, basically you stand a chance to actually get the business line of credit that you want, but even the business loan. Okay. So, and also if you actually, if you say you have poor credit, what caused the poor credit in the first place? Poor personal credit. Is it bankruptcy? Is it missed payments? Is it, how serious was it? Did you actually forget to pay your taxes? That kind of stuff. So lenders are going to take a look at your situation. So if you have fair business credit and you have bad personal credit, here are the steps I want you to really pay attention to. Number one, you got to really decide between a secured and unsecured line of credit. I know you're probably thinking, well, I'm looking for an unsecured business line of credit, right? But if you really analyze the situation, maybe having a secured business line of credit could be cheaper for you. Because the whole thing is, if you have collateral to pledge, let's say you have equipment, you have machinery, you have something to really pledge, it might make sense monetarily, it might make sense economically to actually go the secured way. Okay, that way when you speak to the lender, you can say, listen, I know my personal credit is bad, but please look at my business credit score. I have fair credit. I have a decent payday score. I have a decent Equifax business score. I have a decent Experian business score. So please look at my business situation, especially if the business is pledging assets that really like a very valuable asset. Let's say you have machinery, for instance, and you want to really pledge that asset. That's really cool, because basically, let's say you are trying to get a business line of credit that's below 1 million. If you were to go with the secured route, you are increasing your chances. Now you can say, well, I have no assets. I can't really play. I have no asset, or I do not want to pledge an assets. Okay. I wanted to go the unsecured way. What if you want to go the unsecured way? Then basically you might have a lot of talk to do. You might have a lot of talking to do, because then you have to really convince the lender that, hey, listen, they are comfortable. They should be comfortable lending to your business. In that sense, what you want to do here is to actually go the EIN route. In other words, you want to apply with your EIN. You want to say, listen, here is my EIN. Here is the business credit that I have. Here are the trade lines that I was able to build in the last few years. Please look at my business, and my personal situation is maybe bad for now, but I'm fixing it. Okay, there has to be some kind of movements. Okay, so if you want to go unsecured, don't expect to get anything above $500,000. If you want to get a business line of credit bad personal credit but fair business credit, you're not going to go anything. You're not going to find anything above half a million. But hey, listen, it's still good anyway. If you get a half a million, that's still good anyway. So if you are trying to get a business line of credit with bad personal credit, your FICO score is bad. Okay, your FICO score is really below 500, and you're trying to get a fair business credit line. Basically, you have to research lenders' requirements for getting the line of credit that you want. Why? Because every lender is different. Some lenders are pretty flexible, others are not. Now, one thing for sure, when you think about actually lenders, the requirements actually might be if you have a lender that has a very flexible requirements, that means the APR is kind of high. I mean, there has to be some kind of let's say correlation, right? So there has to be a correlation. So when I speak about lenders, you have you have traditional banks, you have credit unions, you have alternative lenders, you also have online lenders. So if you have bad personal credit and you're looking for a business line of credit that will accept your fair business credit, you want to really focus on alternative lenders, or you want to think about online lenders. So when you think about online lenders, you have the likes of SmartBiz, you have Balboa Capital, you have a lot of them, but don't go with banks or credit unions because those will deny you real fast. Okay, banks want you to have at least good credit score. Okay, either at the individual level, but also at the business level. So you want to really research the lender's requirements for getting a business line of credit. So you want to look at things like the years in business. What kind of how many years in business does the lender want to see? Okay, what's the deal when it comes to revenue and cash flow? That will really impact a lot your ability to apply. And what is the business and personal credit score? I mean, your personal credit score is already low, but how low is the lender willing to go? Okay, and also the industry. I mean, some industries are not really. I mean, some lenders are not comfortable financing some industries. So you got to ask yourself, am I in the right industry? Am I really talking to the right lender? Okay. And also the business plan. Do you have a business plan? Does the lender require you to have a business plan for you to really qualify for a business line of credit with fair business credit, but low personal credit? Either way, whether you go with a business plan or not, it's always good to have some kind of business synopsis in your files. It can be a one-page business plan. It can be a full-fledged business plan. That way, you just never know. Lenders always appreciate, let's say, an abundance of documentation versus, like a rarity of documentation. So you always want to be ready and making sure that you have whatever info you can submit to the lender. So if you have bad personal credit, right, and you are looking for a uh, a fair credit business credit line, I want you to gather the required information. So depending on the lender you choose, you have to really either have an extensive list of documents or a pretty decent list of documents. It really depends. Banks and credit unions usually will require you to have an extensive list of documents, whereas online lenders such as Bluevine or SmartBiz or Balboa Capital, among others, even National Business Capital, among others, will work with you if you have a decent amount of paperwork. Okay, so you want to really gather the required documents, and these documents will help you tell the lender that, hey, listen, do you have the capacity to repay the loan they are about to give you, right? Because for them to give you a loan, they have to be comfortable that you should be able to repay the loan back, right? So when it comes to when it comes to the required information, you are thinking about things like business licenses. So here we're not speaking just about your bad credit anymore, your fair business credit anymore. Okay, regardless of where you are at, of the states and city where you are at, you will need to really think about your business licenses. Some industries are more cautious or more strict or stricter, if you will, when it comes to business licenses. Let's say if you are regulated at the federal level, then you have a different situation. Let's say you are in healthcare or you're doing OTR on the road. You are in transportation and you are transporting hazmats. If you're transporting reefer products like refrigerated products, that really means that you have to have certain licenses to even operate. Either you have an MC number or you have a US dot number. just make sure that you are actually you're compliant across the board. Okay, so business licenses, articles of incorporation, personal and bank and business bank statements, profit and loss statements. So that's really your P&L, okay, your income statement, your business plan, personal and business tax returns, and information about other debt obligations that you have. So even if you have poor credit, if you have a low score, you still might be asked to supply your personal 1040 for the last 3 years, but also your business tax returns for the last 3 years. So if you have a poor personal credit, right? Let's say you have low credit and but you have fair business credit. Your business line of credit is going to be depending upon the lender that you ultimately choose. A little earlier, I told you that you have a variety of lenders that you can talk to that will really want to listen to you. But those who want to listen to you for real, you only have two categories. You have online lenders like the fintechs, and then you have alternative lenders. Okay, banks and credit unions, unless you have an outstanding relationship with them, you've been with them for a long time, and you actually have what you are able to sort of maintain that relationship, they're not going to listen to you. Okay, so if you don't have the relationship, don't even think about talking to a Chase, U.S. Bank, PNC, TD Bank, or Truist, or West Fargo or City. No, the relationship has to be there for them to be willing to listen to you. So select the lender. You want to go for like to increase your chances, maybe go for those lender marketplaces like Lendu or NBC, so National Business Capital, okay, or even Clarify Capital. So those loan marketplaces have relationships with lenders, and some lenders might be banks and credit unions. But at least when you apply to a loan marketplace, a business loan marketplace, you are increasing your chances of getting the line of credit that you want, okay, regardless of your FICO score personally. So you want to think about that. And the thing is that your business line of credit actually has to depend on a few things because every lender has a different criteria. Pay attention to things like maximum credit limits. Pay attention to draw periods, the repayment terms, the requirements, the interest rates, the associated fees, and also your ability to build the business credit, right? So the question is, does the lender report to a business credit bureaus? Do they report to a Equifax business? Do they report to Experian business? Do they report to a Dun& and Bradstreet? Those are things that you want to pay attention to because it's not just about getting a business loan for the sake of, it's not the priority shouldn't be to just get a business line of credit for the sake of getting a business line of credit. It's also if you can build credit in the process, that will be fine because at some point you might want to really increase that fair business credit score to a good business credit score. So you can't really do that if you don't report your transactional activities. So it's something to really keep in mind this year. So if you have a poor personal credit, but you have fair business credit and you're trying to really get a business line of credit, now it's time to really apply for the business line of credit itself. Okay. But the thing is, when it comes to applying for the business line of credit, you have to understand that you have a lot of possibilities. You can do this online. You can do this over the phone. You can do this at a branch. You have a lot of possibilities. If you go with an online lender, chances are you're going to do things online because they do not have that many branches, that many brick and mortar branches to accommodate you to really do a closing at the branch. Okay, so you in their offices, so you can do it online. Well, when you do it online, when you actually apply for a business line of credit, make sure that you pay attention to things like draw fee. How much are they charging you? Because some lenders will charge you anywhere from 1% to 4% of the amount that you withdraw anytime you withdraw that amount. Okay. Think about the origination fee. Are they charging you a fee when it comes to originating the business line of credit? What about payment? What about payment processing? Are they charging you extra for that as well? What about wire transfer fee? I mean, those are fees that really add up. You might be thinking, well, it's only a few dollars here and there, but those few dollars here and there, they do add up in let's say over time, especially if you have a low amount for your line of credit. Okay, so that's something to really think about. Also, you might have a late fee or a prepayment penalty. So you may be charged a prepayment penalty if you repay your loan early. This fee is less common with lines of credit than with other types of business loans. So something to really keep in mind, especially if you are trying to get to the next level for your business line of credit. One thing I want to say also is that just remember that some lenders do not give you the full business line of credit right away. They might say, well, we'll give you one half, and then based on how you manage the account, we'll give you the rest. So be very careful. If you need the cash right, or if you need the whole amount right away, and you don't have it, this could be a little problematic. So just ask all questions beforehand. And the good thing is, if you were to go to a lender such as Bluevine, they will give you all information up front. They are very transparent up front before you actually sign on the dotted lines. Anyway, so one thing you have to really ask yourself, if you have poor personal credit but fair business credit, you got to really ask yourself whether or not you should go for another business funding program. My question to you is the business line of credit right for you? Do you have to go with the business line of credit, or can you go for a business loan? Or should you go for accounts receivable financing? Should you go for equipment financing? Should you go for asset-based financing? Like, you got to really constantly ask yourself whether the business line of credit is the right tool for you. Or maybe you can just try a business credit card. Maybe you don't need to really take the cash out. You can just go for a business credit card. You can apply, if you have fair business credit, you could qualify for a business credit card, either a credit union or at a bank. Don't you might not be lucky with national banks such as Chase, Wells Fargo, Citi, or even Bank of America, but you can try those regional tier two banks. And the tier two banks are pretty good. You have, for instance, the PNC of this world. You have the U.S. Bank of this world. You have the BMO Harris. You have the Fifth Third. You have the Truist Bank. Those banks will take care of you and making sure that they give you business credit cards with limits that are pretty decent, and also at pretty good APRs. The only thing is, those banks, they do not actually report your data to the credit bureau, so it could be a little problematic. If you want to really build business credit, it's just maybe better to go with an online lender or an alternative lender. Or if you want a business credit card, then really think about the likes of Brex, for instance. You can try Brex, you can try Ramp, you can try Divi. Those business credit cards can help you actually build business credit. They're more of an expense management. They're more of expense management processes that really help you build business credit over time. So this could be a possibility for you, especially if you are trying to diversify your array of business credit building tool. So, in conclusion, to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to really get a business line of credit if you have fair business credit, but bad personal credit. Okay, so I gave you the trains, the steps, and now the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.